Today, this is the Open Space Committee meeting on April 22nd. 23rd. Oh, yeah, my aunt's birthday today, April 23rd, 2025. And we are getting video recorded and broadcast over local access channel 8 and through the town website. You can access that at www.eastham.ma.gov. And I'll start with roll call since we have a couple of Zooms and a couple here. And I'm Joanna Buffington. I'm here.
Andrew Shear, I'm here.
Karen Strauss here.
Rob Young here.
Great. And that's it. And it is a quorum. Three of our members are in various states of non-attendance. One in the air, flying back. And Alex will not be joining us. He is not feeling well today. So we have no minutes to review. Linda did the March minutes, but she's not here, and she said they weren't quite ready. So we will postpone the March minutes to our June meeting. And Rob, you're supposed to be taking today's minutes. Thank you very much. Next thing on the agenda is the open space and recreation OSRP plan. And I know Alex and Michelle were going to give an update on that, and since neither is here, unless any of you know.
I have no idea. It's my second meeting.
Okay. And the land management plan, though, we did get some updates on that, the Wiley Park, and we got, Francis had sent a document from the forester who described a 7-page document and then a map for the stands of trees in Wiley Park. And then Francis said that he's actually finished the whole report and we should be getting that soon. But I did have a chance to look at the tree stand thing really quickly. I didn't cover it a lot, but I was impressed that there's a lot of information and divides up the different tree, the different stands in Wiley Park. And I thought there's action steps, things that probably should be done. But I wondered whether our first step would be to get together with the 1651 forestry group, since they do plantings in Wiley Park, and have that as our next step to get the plan to them and meet with them about how we go about doing some of that work. Invasive stuff, we volunteers can do big tree canopy work. We're not allowed to, but how we would get, so if anybody's looked at that and has another idea.
I'm not sure about if we can do the knotweed, but Concom got an interesting letter and a resume from somebody who'd like to volunteer to help with various Concom projects, and one of the things he mentioned was invasive species management. Someone who's licensed in Massachusetts, retired. I haven't spoken to him yet. We just got the resume, but that might be somebody to a professional wetland scientist, right, retired, who lives in Eastham part-time.
And is looking for paid employment?
No, volunteer. And it seems like this might be a good resource for a number of projects coming up, but the resume came sort of almost simultaneously with the forest plan that Francis shared, so it seemed like synergy there.
All right.
But I haven't had the time to reach out to him yet, but I will be doing that in the next week or so.
Super.
To for an initial discussion, and then see where he might bring him in to talk to other people and where it might fit in with this work, or maybe shoreline restoration for Great Pond and Nickerson and stuff. But it seemed like just the right timing.
Good. Oh, sorry.
Our unofficial members, they are voting members, those parking things, but we're not voting on anything yet. So any other comments on that report now? But I would propose, yeah.
But just that very interesting bear space up towards the Luther Lane Beehive Road section of Wiley, where it noted it had been cleared, and I would be interested to know what exactly cleared is being
Yeah,
defined
There's,
as there.
I wish I could throw up a map, but Wiley Park, and I'm directionally impaired. But if you walk down to the pond at Wiley Park, to the left, you keep going along the pond, it's all private. It's not private along the pond, but private properties are up there, and people who live there have cut paths in the pond, cut through town land, and they have cleared things that they shouldn't, so there's always been some issues with that. That may be
Yeah.
what we should look at, see what's, you know, I mean, a path to the pond is not a big deal, it's, you know. But clearing a big thing through town land.
But-
to pond is not-
Yeah,
Or to moor their boats because of people, anyway, found people with boats. Anyway,
Mhm.
So I would propose then, and I will let Frances, when she gets the full report, since we didn't get that, ask that it be sent, well, shared with the Conservation Commission folks, with the 1651 forestry folks, and get sort of a time where maybe representatives from each can get together for a plan to move forward on acting on some of the recommendations.
Sounds good.
Okay. Next thing is Sandy Meadow. Alex sent the trailhead map sign. I don't know if everybody saw that. He sent an attachment with the aerial and the ADA in red, part of the path, and then the rest of the walking path. He met with Paul Legg, who's our GIS. Well, he's the town planner, but he's with GIS maps, so they got together and pulled that out. Francis's notes said that he got with Rob and Karen to approve it. Or did he say no?
no, I only saw it today,
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, me too.
Okay,
and I just was wondering about the resolution of the underlying satellite photos there, and whether that would fit into the current design for that sign. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I like the simplicity of it.
right,
But I note that the previous map, that it doesn't note where there are stairs or where the terrain might steepen or something. So it doesn't give people kind of notice about what they might encounter beyond the fact that it says ADA trail and
right.
shows the rest.
Once they get
Right.
past the ADA, what is it going to be like? I know that the stairs are
Right.
starting to deteriorate too, so I don't know how we can
Do-
make note of
Do
that.
we
But
do
where
we
the
need
railroad ties are,
do we
it's,
need to have a project to replace that?
yeah, I mean, we should probably discuss that. What's happening is from the runoff of the rain on either side of the railroad ties, plus people not wanting to walk. I don't know why, but on the area where the railroad ties are, have started to walk alongside them, that it's worn away. I know I was
Uh-huh.
there a couple weeks ago, and you know, if you're not paying attention, walking down can be a little more dangerous than we'd like it to be. So we should
Yeah,
probably,
and it's already steep and kind of narrow there
yeah.
as well.
So one of the things that had been recommended for the legend was the difficulty. I think that's hard to do on well, maybe we'll figure out a way how to do that on, the legend right now has ADA and walking trail, and it doesn't
Mhm.
have, it has the total feet, which I think is fine. It has a scale, and I think people figure out, oh, this isn't very far. I don't think we need to.
People are going to take their hand and measure the scale and go.
I do, like, oh, this is this long. None of these trails are long, you know, trails.
No.
But it would be good to put in something in the legend with like stairs or steep, some different mark that can identify both those things, stairs or steep. Most of the trail is pretty flat and not steep, so trying to put a whole too much on it, I think. It's, we don't want to
But-
put too much more,
but
more.
I would like to see maybe, and we have the scale, but I would like to see perhaps that just the ADA trail that a distance is listed.
Okay,
Because I know from my experience is that it helps me to know how far I'm going to go and especially how
You
far I
come
have to,
back.
have to come back.
Right,
Yeah.
I think that's,
Not like a loop that tells you the distances.
Right, and the ADA one isn't out and back,
Yeah.
so it should say.
yeah, at least
Right,
the
round
length of
trip.
the ADA, right, right. I
You might be
agree.
able to find a map key too that we can
Mhm.
just borrow like the same symbols, so there's consistency from like any other state that I have trail maps. Like California has extensive trail maps, so maybe we look to see what they use for a steep symbol,
Steep and stale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just to see what they use, and we'll use the same symbols and
Yeah.
in the same way.
could you look up some of
I
those?
could, yeah, of
and do-
course.
that
I
would be
already made a
great.
note of it just to see if I can find something. I don't really do a lot of hiking in California when I lived there, but I know they have pretty good trail maps because
Right.
people get lost and like disappear.
Yeah. And the
We
other,
alternately could just change the line from a dotted line and black to something else for the steep section and
That
note
maybe
that
will-
in the color legend.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
and
just
what other
to keep
land
it
trusts,
just to
like
keep it
Nauset?
simple.
Yeah. And
I
they
like
have
that
the-
it's simple,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Okay. So that'd be great, and those things would apply to any trail map updates we do on website things too.
Mhm.
So, that's it on Sandy Meadow. For now. I wanted to, just flip around, what.
Oh, did you mention Alex's update that he's still working with NHESP to get
Yeah,
the,
and Natural Heritage, their approval is still pending, yeah, so Alex will follow up. And he hadn't gotten there, it hasn't come through yet, so he'll follow up on that. I wanted to skip, to the land acquisition and outreach and do the stewardship work days later, because that just makes more sense to me, planning dates and we're not, but planning what we wanna do. So Karen, you, I know, just sent, before, and I was outside at the playground and looked at it. But you and Michelle, we're gonna put together a timeline and activities
Mhm.
for us to do outreach to private landowners.
yeah, we are still working on that, but we've pulled out the priority parcels that are most important from our discussions and listed that there along with the criteria. So
Right.
and we've reviewed some of the material from MACC. Michelle is going to be talking to Mark Robinson, and I am emailing Henry Lynn to talk about what has been done before and get their advice on outreach as well, unless you think there's maybe somebody else at ECS.
No, but just a quick, you didn't include any of the chapter 61 properties on that.
Well, because that is already right of first refusal.
Right, that's what
So yeah.
But it's
So-
still, right of first refusal to purchase it if it comes on the market, the town or their designated nonprofit has 120 days. I think it would be good to still have them on there because that's way too short.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay,
it's
but
not very
that
long.
still will be a topic of conversation when we get to Amy and
Yeah,
Jackie. And we
Right.
had thought to talk to Jackie after town meeting, but now there's a special town meeting on June 23rd for wastewater. So yeah, the funding for wastewater got a little wonky, so it got taken off the regular town meeting, but the town needs to vote to approve a wastewater plan by the end of June, so that we will then get multi-year funding. And if we have to reapply next year, they're going to be funding on a year-to-year basis, which is no guarantee that we'll get funding through the entire project. So hence the special town meeting on June 23rd and the special town election on June 24th. But it makes sense to kind of slow our discussion with Jackie
Right.
till after
What's
that.
the special town election?
Voting funds.
Oh, okay, right, so we have town meeting, regular town
Town-
meeting, May 7th, and then the 2 or 3 weeks later is the.
The day after. Because it has to be all done before the end of June.
No, I mean, the regular town meeting though, and the election for the select board positions and stuff, that's the normal time. in May.
That's the normal time. And then there's a
Right.
special town meeting,
Right.
June 23rd, and the election, there's
Right.
an election the day after where people will vote to approve the funding
Right.
that was
Okay.
approved at town meeting, or perhaps we'll disapprove one and allow the other and cause chaos, but
Okay.
yeah.
My only other comment before talking with either Henry or Mark, there's a
Mhm.
few of the properties on the list have a very specific, we already kind of know. So we might want to talk about some of the, before you go to Henry or Mark.
Well, we were just gonna do a preliminary outreach and see if they're willing to talk about this with us, and with Henry, I know he's done some outreach in the past with some of these
Well, yeah, there's
properties, so
definitely history, and but it's sort of, decades ago, but it's still
R-
relevant. 'Cause a
right,
lot
but
of-
I want to get a handle on that history from him directly. I
Right.
think would help. And then, yeah, I'm of the mind that it would make a lot of sense if we could work, the town and ECF could work together on some of this
Right, right.
as well, but yeah.
I can still hear you guys. I'm going to be off camera for a minute, but I can hear you.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, so Michelle and I, and I'm gonna reach out to Frances, I know she's traveling today, are gonna get together next week and do some more work on this.
Okay. Anything else on land outreach?
That's all I got.
Okay.
But just on land management, there are probably some other properties that we should look at. We didn't really look that closely when we did the land plan on properties with houses.
Right.
And I think we should also take a closer look at that as we're moving ahead with this. So I think maybe we'll do that as part of the process as well, and bring you guys back a list.
Yeah. Okay. Stewardship and work days, there is sort of a whole list of things that Francis had and put together. I think we know there's invasives everywhere. But a couple of specific things under, well, not really stewardship, but the Higgins property, Alex, the survey, having a formal survey of the Higgins property with boundaries needed. I suspect that hasn't moved at all, but we'll wait for Alex to see if there's any update on that. I know Linda and Alex did walk Southeast Ham Conservation Area, and they want to schedule a work day for there. Some of the pathways and English ivy and some invasives, so we'll I'll send out a note after this meeting to everybody, just to urge Linda and Alex to start suggesting dates for us to get out there and do some work. The same with the Wiley Park. I mean, it's towards the end of April. I can't believe it. So we should really get a move on getting some dates where we can see who's available and start some of this work. Anything else? I think stewardship work days are just gotta find them and do some work.
Yeah, I just have something else on stewardship that's not quite germane to commission, open space committee work days, but I don't know if you heard that AmeriCorps has been shuttered by Doge, and 750 staff members have been put on paid administrative leave, and most people who are volunteers have been told their projects have ended immediately.
I just read something that AmeriCorps Cape Cod, it was an email sent from Mark Robinson and sent around that AmeriCorps, it's definitely still at risk, but AmeriCorps Cape Cod is gonna go through this season because all of its grants are from other things, so it's supported at least through this next round. That's still, I mean, that's good, but it's still a big threat. We use AmeriCorps Cape Cod for Meadow. We you know, it's amazing.
They do all kinds of amazing work on the Cape, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure you all knew that, because that will factor into other planning.
Yeah, well, it's one of those.
Because the current crop is all
okay, but it's not in the bigger pictures.
I mean, it sounds like there's just a timer. We have some runway.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
about
yeah,
it.
but the current crop runs out, I guess, in late July,
Yeah, but
and
it
the next
sounded
group would
like
normally
from the-
start up in October. So yeah.
and it sounded like from the head of AmeriCorps Cape Cod, it's a woman, I don't remember her name, but she sent an email and Mark shared that around that that it seemed like the next round was assured, the ones that will start in October. I'll double check that, but
Okay.
yeah, I will.
Alex might know more. He's
Yeah.
so closely tied to that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
The other thing on the agenda with the CR, the conservation restriction status, the well field, the 28 whatever acres that's held up because of the parcels need to all get surveyed. I don't know what's going on with that either, but the town's supposed to be getting someone to do the survey of all of that, so it can move forward. It's one of those crazy things. That's going to take a while. Under old and new business, old Earth Day cleanup, we did Bill Allen, as every year, it coordinated the marsh cleanup in the week and running up to Earth Day and Saturday. So from not Boat Meadow, but sort of the mixed peninsula where I live, all the way around the marsh, you know, Herringbrook Road, Samoset, all the way to First Encounter Beach, to all the inner part of that, with a bunch of teams that covered that, and it was, I don't know how many bags, but one big truck full of bags full of mostly plastic, a few tires, and the DPW truck was supposed to meet us at the parking lot at 11 on Saturday, and they didn't show up, so we left a nice pile that eventually disappeared. But didn't get blown away. But Bill Allen made an executive decision on what it weighed. He says it was 227, no, 2,000, I don't know, he made up some number. But he's probably pretty close. He's been doing it for years, and a DPW truck will weigh it, you know, weigh the truck, dump it, and give us the exact number. But anyway, it was a lot of trash, as usual. So that was good to get done.
That's great work. Did you guys collect any like beach stair debris, fence debris, et cetera?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, beach. Did you say beach? Oh, stairs. Like
beach stairs. Yeah,
structures.
stairs, fences, pieces of docks. I don't know.
No, not much of that I noticed. And they over the past 3 years before this year, there was a major effort to get all the tires out. People used to intentionally, not just, you know, we got to get rid of it, but intentionally put them there to like build up, you know, berms around their houses. Let's do rubber tire, you know, big tires.
Yeah. They used to do that in Great Pond as well.
Yeah.
Largest source of microplastics in the environment.
Good.
It's tires.
But we got something like, I don't know how, one year 28 came out, and they're heavy.
Yeah,
And they're not near, it's like rolling them along and getting all the wildlife and flora out of them before you get them out of the marsh. So major effort. So there was only one tire taken out this year because so many were taken out over the last 3 years.
Cool. So that must mean that people aren't dumping new tires in
New
there.
tires, and we can only go.
So that's cool.
Yeah. Any other old or new, I'll say, it's not a record, but it could be close to a record.
I do have one thing. The strategic plan is basically completed. You might have seen the back of the town warrant where there's an insert describing the plan and a town update as well. There will be a couple of public information sessions coming up in May, either May 14th or May 24th at the library. Date to be determined. They're still working out childcare. So there would be 2 sessions, one I think starting at 4 and the next one at 5:30. So we want to encourage committee members to attend and give feedback. For that, I'll update you when we get a firm date.
Great.
Anything else? Next meeting, well, I will, before minutes will wait, Rob, I know they won't be out this afternoon. But if it's okay with everybody here, I'll do a brief summary email to the committee, including the missing members, on our action steps from this, which is, waiting for looking at the full report for the Wiley Park Land Management Plan, and plan to share with 1651 and Conscom, and we're gonna go from there. The trailhead signs, the resolution, and the symbols and the stairs, and that thing, we'll ask Alex and group to be thinking about those, and then the work days, get some dates scheduled for.
As soon as possible, yeah.
Yeah. And the next meeting is May 21st, 2:30. Here. But hopefully we'll see some of us out like dirty before then.
All right.
Anything else?
okay. Say the
Motion
30th?
to adjourn.
Second.
The 21st of.
Karen, we're like, Karen and I were out of here.
Hey, I had a 3-hour and 40-minute Concom meeting last night. That
Oh,
was
God,
pretty
bless
rough.
you.
So yeah.
Bless you.
2:58. Who motioned?
I motion. Karen
And I
seconded.
second.
All in
All
favor?
those-
Aye.
Aye.
All right, guys.